G'day, good afternoon, and good evening, people. Welcome back to another month of Poker Hands. We've got a few limpers to start this one off, and then a man called Lou the Pooh is going to raise it up 2,700 to go. Going to find himself two callers. Flop 886, two clubs. Lou the Pooh, he likes it. Joe Viral. He's got threes, got a clubby, two pair, hard to fold, decides to peel in position. Over to Elkie. He's going to raise it up, kind of committing himself to the pot, puts half his stack in. Lupu, standard snap fold, obviously. However, got the soul read, puts Elkie on a draw, calls 9,000 more, and bangs off quite a dreamy turn card. Option on him for the turn. Donk Jam, all in. Elkie, it's 12k into 34. Has to call it off with a combo draw. Guess what, buddy? You're behind. I got King 9 high. They're going to run it 2 times. You just wish the bloke could hold with his King 9, but poker does manage to chop it on the second run. Lou the Pooh, what a soul read, some would say. What a soul read from Lou the Pooh. However, we're going to see him play another hand. This time he's bumping it up to 1,300 and flops himself a nice backdoor straight draw on an all-black Ace King Jack. Obviously goes for the C-bet, 2 grand. Next man to act, he's got a pair of sunnies, he's got a ginger beard, he's got the nats. Raises it up, 6,500, 14k behind. And Lou the Pooh, Mr. Soul Read, going to peel the flop, but he's going to turn himself a deuce and then get shoved into for 3/4 pot. He rises to his feet like a legend in his own lunchbox. He's thinking of making another hero play. That King 9 didn't work out too bad, he said. Let's see if I can get it right this time. He calls it off and he's got 0%. Unlucky, mate. So if you're new to me channel, what we do is once a month we go through all the best hands from live and online. And it's not always just donks wailing off their stack like that fella. We got 2 fellas playing heads up here. Blinds are 25, 50, and a straddle to 100. So they're bumping up the stakes a little bit here, at least for this hand. Now it's on Roman Veronin. They're going to have a straddle heads up, which makes a bit of an interesting dynamic. It's like playing out of position in the blind v blind battle. Roman, he's going to bump it up to 4 blinds, a little bit unconventional. Barak, he's going to call with the ace-8 suited. It's going to come Queen 9, 2 clubs, no heart for Barak. He faces 250 bucks, and he says, screw it, ace high, I call. Turns a queen, counterfeiting a lot of hands. Ace-8 high, pretty good now. Roman bets about 500 bucks, and Barak is going to call. So far, so good from everybody, but the river is a 9. Now, the pot's about 2 grand, and they got 9 grand behind. Can't exactly ram it in here as Roman. He's got to be scared of a queen, even if he does have those kings and aces. He's going to check it. Barak is going to bet. He's saying, hey, mate, I could have a queen here. I could have a 9 here. I bet more than the pot. Roman says, oh, looky, looky. Got a chooky. Raise it up minimum. Put some pressure back on you, mate. And Barak says, you know what? Screw you, buddy. I'm all in. I don't think you're going to call me. Roman says, ha, mate. Just joking. Have the 7-3. And Barak shows him the ace-8. Bluffed him off the chop. Nice hand. Well played. Now, this hand here might break your little heart. We've got a girl by the name of Sky. Seems like a nice enough little chickie. She's going to get 3-bet and decides, you know what? I got balls too. I call with Jack 9 off. She flops a gutty in a backdoor straight flash. Up against the top sizzy. Guy bets 20% of the pot and she calls him. He's turning the quaddies though. I'll skip over this, but this guy really tanks quite a lot in this hand. It's pretty annoying. He bets 500 bucks quarter pot. She's going to try and bluff him. She's getting a bit tilted. She's making comments. She doesn't like how slow he's playing, and this guy is going to tank for like a full minute and clicks it over her on the turn. What a tilter. 2,500 total. And I've seen a few chickies in my day, and they like to battle with the boys. They don't like to get pushed around. They do kind of whack stuff like peeling dry gutties when they're drawn dead. And so she calls the turn here. And yeah, river's a heart. This guy's going to tank another 3 or 4 minutes. She's going to complain a bit. People feel bad for her. Playing the guilt card, the guilt tripper. Anyway, this fella's so slow. He's going to bet 75% of the pot. And she's going to start tanking. She looks down at that jack of hearts. She says, you know what, mate? I don't like you. I want to bluff you. I'm all in. Runs into quaddies, and now she's going to have to put on some kind of performance like she's not really pissed off that she just wailed off all her chips. And I've got to tell you, boys, as a male, I really don't like to see this happening. This one gets under me skin. Whoever your boyfriend or your husband is, could he please just tell you to go home, lady? Don't like to see you losing your chippies.
That's so mean.
Anyway, back to the online felt. Got 2 boys battling for the table at 100, 200. Zars 91 and Matthew Burgart, a.k.a. Sidro. 2.5 blinds pre. Matty B is going to call it 7 deuce. Backdoor straight flush. Checks it over to Vicky. Vicky bets half the pot on the queen 6-4. Matty says, you know what? Make it 1,900, mate. Victor says, all right, sounds fair to me, I call. Turns a jack of diamonds. Matty, known for some tricky plays, going to check the draw here on the turn and faces a half pot bet. He says, well, I can't exactly go ahead and fold this one, so he bumps it up 9 grand. Victor calls without much deliberation. The river is a 10. Matty says, well, you know what? I don't really like bluffing this one on the river. I'm going to give it up. So he checks, and they got about 20 grand behind into a 23 grand pot. Victor on the river is going to bet 200 bucks. Now, I thought this was a misclick, but somebody told me that he chose to bet this amount of money, and he got looked up by a 7 and a 2. Guess what? 7 and a 2 was good. Matty Burger, nice hand, buddy. Now we've got some big stakes, boys. Got a fella called Aaron, raising it up ace 10, 2 grand. Andy, real man's hand, pocket kings, makes it 8,000. And JR, he's in one of the blinds here. He's going to cold call 8,000 with a pair of fives. He covers Andy. They're sitting $300,000 effective, heads up to the flop. 7, 3, deuce, rainbow. JR, he's got a pair. He's got a backdoor straight. Andy's going to come in, decides to bet another 8 grand. JR calls it. Turns a 4, bit of a dream card for JR. Can't go folding this one now. Andy, though, doesn't think for long. Snap barrel. 16 grand, about half the pot again. JR smells a bit of a rat. Thinks Andy's weak. Decides, screw you, mate, I'm going to pop it up. I gotta say, I like this fella's style. Raises up to 42 grand. He's not trying to get him to fold. He's trying to build the pot. Wants to win a big one off Andy. Andy calls it pretty fast. River comes down. Brick, nothing changes. JR, 250,000 effective. He could put a lot of pressure on Andy here. Not really sure what he's going to do. He counts out a bet. It's not all in, but it's pretty big. 110 grand into 120. Andy, how does he feel about that one? Not too good, it looks like. He's going to think about it for a while, purses his lippies, and puts his cards in the muck. JR, look at the old chops, collects those chips. Back online, 40k no limit. We got an Aussie sighting here, Michael Adamo, playing out of Hong Kong it seems. Well-known tournament crusher. However, got a reputation for a bit of a toilet reg in the cash game streets. He's going to min-raise this one up. M. Lekonen, a.k.a. Make Boy Finn, the SpongeBob man, going to 3-bet him from the small blind, and Michael's going to call. Flop comes down to Jack 9-5 rainbow. Make Boy Finn, going to bet 2 grand into 7,600. Michael's going to call. Turns a deuce of spades. Boy Finn decides, I'm going to check me Queen Jack this time. Michael Adamo bets 3rd pot. Little bit of an interesting sizing here. Lekonen, considering a raise, I guess, with the Queen Jack, decides to trap with it, just calls. The river, big old brick offsuit 3. Boyfriend's going to check it, and Adamo could obviously go all in here for slightly more than pot, but instead he's going to bet half his stack, 12,700, and Marcus goes into the tank. Now what he's thinking is, this guy's got a reputation for being a pretty aggressive player. If he had anything good, he probably goes all in. Therefore, my Queen Jack probably got him beat, so he jams it as kind of a free roll. And now Adamo is going to tank and pay it off with an ace and a 9. Probably the bottom of his value range. Don't really like this call, to be honest. Most of Adamo's hands at the cash game high stakes don't tend to be well played. Letting down the Australian name, if you ask me. Back to the tournament streets, buddy. We've got a treat for you this time. We've got a fella called Mr. Dr. Batman, known for his little yellow paper thingies that he calls the tilt cards. He's a bit of an annoying fish, but he's a giant whale, so you like to see him at the table. He's going to raise this one up to 5 grand. We've got 3 callers with Kennedy, and I've got to say, mate, shout out to Kennedy. He might be the worst player on the entire planet. A story for another month. Checks over to the doctor. He's got queens here, no heart, blocking straight draws. He says, you know what? 15 grand into you 3 fellas. Eric, he's got top 2. He's not loving it, but he's not hating it. He snap calls. Turn rolls off a board pairing 10. Mr. Dr. Batman, blocking straight draws, which would automatically fold. He's going to barrel it. And I've got to say here, boys, I admire the heart. It's an absolutely terrible play, but I do admire the heart. The full pot turn bet size. He's not messing around. I can respect that. It's an absolutely atrocious hand to bet on the turn, but he does have a couple of live outs, so that's always good. Eric, going to hit him with the Hollywood. Going to put in one large stack of 500s. I think that's 10 grand and 40 grand. Eric, absolutely loving life right now. Mr. Doctor, all the draws complete on the river. He's going to snap check. I guess he's done with this one. Eric Person starts a brilliant performance here. He's going to think and bet 130 grand into 150. Over to the doctor, and this guy's punted on almost every street. How could he compound it? Is he thinking about a call here, boys? Is he considering a call here with black queens on this run out? Putting his opponent on Queen Jack of Diamonds, I guess. Nope, he's going to ram it all in. Gets snap called. He's going to get given one of his own tilt cards back. And there's some quite funny banter between these two fellas.
Give it. Here you go. Here's another tilt card. I'll take it all. Thank you, sir. So good to play with you. This is real money. Now all his chips are mine. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. Mr. Batman.
Good sportsmanship, bro.
Now, what you've all been waiting for, the coveted award section. So who wins our award? Who's the player of the month this month? The Bill Klein monthly trophy for the best player. The best play of the month. Well, that's Marcus Laconin. I think his absolute dismantling of Tawny Fishreg Michael Adamo is worthy of the prize. But the real award, everybody is wondering, is who was the biggest punter? We had a little honourable mention here. A man called Mayhem. Mayhem makes his backdoor flush. He's had one Corona, and apparently that's one Corona too many. He's going to see the straight, and he's going to muck his hand. We had a lot of punters this month, but I must say it's hard to go past Lou the Pooh, peeling absolutely nothing on the flop, not once, but twice, and somehow making out of there with half of a pot. He's taken down the wooden spoon with grace. I'll see you guys on the next one.